Jane.
Hi, Julia.
Oh my God, I love your earrings.
Oh, thank you.
Before, I'm so distracted. Are they yours?
Yeah, they are. They're great.
Oh, they're really stunning. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, let's get
Lean
started.
back a little bit there.
Yeah, you lean back a little bit. I'm Julianne Bond, and this is 10 Minutes of Bonding. My guest today is Jane Bartel. She is a jewelry designer who works out of her studio in New York City, and she is the founder of Jane Bartel Jewelry. I am so delighted to be speaking with her today. Jane, welcome to 10 Minutes of Bonding.
Happy to be here, Julianne. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. So, first question, I am so curious about what your work challenges are looking like these days. And specifically, I guess, how are you working now versus how you were working before?
Well, it's radically different for me, being a jewelry designer, because I'm primarily a wax carver, which means I create my jewelry models in my studio, which fortunately for me, I have a studio in my apartment. But then I would take that model to the jewelry district and I would go to my caster, or I would go to my stone setter or my polisher or possibly a
Oh, wow.
fabricator, depending what I'm making. And they're all gone. So my team has
Wow.
been suspended, as it were. Some of my guys are working from home, so I've actually been able to, get a few things completed. But so I'm making new pieces. I'm able to create new pieces, but I can't really complete them, which means I can't take custom orders and feel good about it,
Yeah.
knowing when I could deliver it, right? So that's pretty different.
Wow. That is
So
different.
yeah, and I have a limited inventory because obviously we work in fine jewelry. We don't keep a lot of pieces on hand, just laying around. Yeah, so yeah, so it's tricky.
So are
Um,
you doing a lot of, so what are you doing then? Are you looking, are you drawing? Are
yeah,
you playing around, experimenting with things
yeah, I'm being
now?
very experimental actually, partly because I have a little bit of focus issues. It's hard for me to stay focused right now. I think everybody's dealing with that.
Yeah.
So I've been drawing. I dragged all of my seashells out the other day, and that's my main source of inspiration. So I'm
Okay.
working on a new line of earrings based on that, and
Nice.
yeah, I'm getting into it. I'm busy. I I'm staying busy. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that kind of leads me into my next question because I think that is something that we're all struggling with, right? We're all like trying to stay busy and trying to stay focused. And so, do you have particular routines or rituals that
mm.
you're finding are helpful right now that are helping you to kind of balance your life and your work and kind of keep a clear head?
Yeah, sort of. I think this week has been better than last week. Every week, every day's different. I actually started doing yoga, which is kind of funny because I'm a yoga dropout, and I've had that app on my phone for about 100 years. So there I
Okay,
am doing yoga. It
great.
feels good. I have to keep moving. One great thing that's happening is I'm part of a really large jewelry community in New York, and I go to a class normally on Bleecker Street every Wednesday all day with Bianca Lopez in her studio, and I see all my community, my gals and my designer
Nice.
friends, and so we're doing that virtually on Zoom right now, and it's pretty fun, I have to say. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all doing our own thing, and we're all talking politics, and we all get to see how everybody's doing. So
Oh,
that
that's
has
great.
added a lot of structure to my week. And I'm taking Photoshop classes. I just started master class. um,
Oh, I love masterclass.
yeah, which one should I
Yeah,
do?
that's great.
So I'm looking for those routines,
Yeah,
and we get out and walk. We're not afraid to go outside and walk in the park, and it's beautiful in New York right now, except for the fact that everybody's gone. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
well, and so even though you're going out a little bit, you are spending a lot of time at home, like we all are. And from spending so much time at home, are you seeing your home any differently than you were before? I'm
Oh
hearing from people that
yeah.
they're seeing it differently, right? So I'm just curious
I'm spending a
how
lot
it's
of time in
affecting
the
you.
kitchen, which is just really funny because I don't really love to cook, but I'm cooking.
Amazing.
I've noticed how loud my husband is on the phone, so that's been interesting. And it's because he's not always home usually, and
Right.
so when he's got all of his business calls going on, and I've got my earbuds on all the time, it seems like now. So I do wish I had an office that I could just
Right.
poke him into periodically. But that's
Yeah,
okay. You know, we kind of have our zones that we go to. I'm extremely grateful that I have a terrace.
that's great.
And I know how lucky I am because I can go outside when I need to and just hang out. And
Right.
as the weather warms up, and that'll be particularly nice. One thing I will give one thing, my building's done a great job of taking care of us. We're so impressed
Huh.
with how they've done. So everybody feels safe in the building. Everybody's sort of doing their part, helping elderly, just not being idiots. And so I was kind of like, oh, good. I didn't know my management was really that together.
Wow.
So
That is so,
yeah,
it's so interesting that you say that. And I guess it's something that we don't really think about
right,
until these kinds of times. And then
hmm
everything is tested, and then
hmm yeah,
then one way or the other. That's
yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
really great. I'm really glad to hear
we
that.
had our maintenance guy go out with COVID, so half of our doormen had to go into quarantine, and so there was a lot of structural issues that everybody had to get on board with, and now they're all back because everybody's fine, but it,
Right.
kind of freaked everybody out for a minute. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, God, this is just flying by. We have 1 minute left.
Okay.
So these days, many of us, probably lots of us, are looking for comfort and inspiration. I think for some people it's art or music. For me, it's poetry. So I'm really curious, Jane, what is it that's giving you inspiration these days, or giving you comfort?
I have to admit, it's my seashells and my rocks. I mean, it's embarrassing how many I
That's
have.
not
I have,
embarrassing.
oh
It's
no, it is. I have
sweet.
like bins of them, bins. And over the years, like so many
Hmm.
years of collecting and I just
I
drag
love
them
that.
out and I touch them and I go through them and it makes me incredibly happy and I get inspired by it. And that's where my collection comes from. So that's what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm touching things. Yeah.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really sweet. I'm glad I asked you that question.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks.
Jane, thank you so much for
It was
talking
super
with
fun.
me today. Yeah, it was really fun.
Looking
Thank
forward to
you.
lunch someday again.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that too.
Okay.
So, okay, well, so for those of you who keep an eye on my page, I'll be sharing Jane's work and her seashell collection, as well as a link to her website. So if you want to know more about Jane or more about her work or the kind of work she does, um, uh, I'm going to be doing that. And I'm also going to be uploading this to my website, the juliannebondteam.com. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll be back next Tuesday with my next guest, Jillian Levinson, who is the program coordinator for the Woman to Woman program at Mount Sinai Hospital. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, thanks, Jane.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.